From Geico Subconscious News, I'm Tammy Racing Thoughts, broadcasting from your brain. You think you live in a pretty safe place, but you just heard about a break-in 4 miles away, which isn't close, but it isn't far either, you know? Art Palpitations is on the scene.
I sure am, Tammy, and I don't even know why I drove out here, because as you know, you got customized renter's insurance through Geico, so your stuff is covered.
Oh, well, that's great. Any sign of crime there, Art?
Just some light littering, Tammy, but like they say, a little litter can lead to a lot.
Wise words. It feels good to worry less. It feels good to Geico.
Okay, we are here with the amazing Donna Mills. And my first question for you is, what do you think the worst thing Abby ever did on Knots Landing?
Oh, my goodness. Boy, I don't know. She did so many bad things, but I always somehow justified it in my mind to be able to play it. So it's really hard for me to say what the worst, because she never did anything to hurt her children. She didn't really want to hurt anybody. Valine was just happened.
He was right. He was ripe for the picking.
Yes, exactly.
From the heart of Hollywood, it's the Patrick Labyorteaux Show with Patrick Labyorteaux.
It's the Patrick Labyorteaux Show. Patrick Labyorteaux. He's the one you gotta know.
Tonight's episode, Donna Mills.
Patrick Labyorteaux Show. He's the one you gotta know.
Okay, you know her from films like Play Misty for Me and Nope, countless television guest star roles, and of course, Abby Cunningham from Knots Landing. You can call her a legend, just don't call her Cookie. Please welcome Donna Mills.
I love that. I'm going to have that embroidered on a pillow.
Welcome. Thank you for doing the Patrick Labyorteaux Show with Patrick Labyorteaux. It's a pleasure to have you here, Donna.
Thank you. It's lovely to meet you and to be here.
So this show started off with, like people that I worked with directly. And as we were discussing briefly just a moment ago, we've never actually physically met or worked together, although it's a small town. Hollywood's a small town, and we know a lot of the same people. We shot at the same studio. So it's a great place to start.
Act 1, Beginnings.
Because you started off as a dancer, but what was it that got you into wanting to be an actor?
I think it really started when I did a play at the Drury Lane Theater in Chicago. One of the first things that I ever did, and I only did it because there were no dance auditions. There were no dancing jobs to be had. And I saw this play, and I thought, well, I'll try that. And I'd done plays in high school and college, but, nothing major. So I got the play. I went and auditioned and I got the play. And it was a comedy. It was, I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway,
sure.
All during rehearsals, I was thinking, this isn't as much fun as I thought it would be. It's kind of boring. Until opening night, until I heard the laughs and the audience reaction. And then I went, oh yeah, I like this. I liked what I felt back from the audience, and that kind of really put me on the road to acting. I was still dancing at the time, but I went back and forth a lot then, and then just acting took over.
Right. It's sort of like once you have that connection with an audience, I've had this on a number of people that we've interviewed here. It's kind of like a drug, and you're kind of chasing that high ever after.
Yeah.
So you start off as we've established as a dancer, but you're doing the acting thing, and you end up on Broadway with the Woody Allen "Don't Drink the Water." Now, were you a dancer in that, or were you acting as well?
No, it was just acting. It wasn't a musical. It was just acting. But I played the Sultan's wife.
Okay.
And as the Sultan's wife, I had a total, costume on that covered everything. And one of these things here, so you never saw my face, and I had no lines. But
you had those eyes.
I guess it was about the eyes. But I understudied the ingenue in it. So that was really why I was there. I never got to go on, however. She never was sick, but that's what I did.
You know, that's a pretty magical time. I again, like I said, we've worked with a lot of similar people. I worked with Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, and Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks, and Woody Allen, and all these guys were writing your shows. He was doing his plays out there. That was a really huge time for comedy on Broadway. Were you a part of that? Did you understand who you were working with and what kind of because they were the young guys on the block at that point.
Yeah. No, I knew it was major. I knew it was major. Woody was very kind of standoffish with the cast. We didn't see him much. We'd get changes and, scene changes and dialogue changes and stuff like that. Even though I wasn't doing the role, I had to know as the understudy any changes that were made. So, we got all that, but we never saw him much. But I did really realize what an important time in Broadway history it was, because there were a lot of shows, and Broadway at the time, and it still is, but not as much as it was then. It was alive. It was just cooking. And it was great. It was a great place to be. I would walk out of my apartment every day and look around and say, I'm in New York. It was great.
I mean, well, you're on Broadway. I mean, it's not a bad place to start for a young kid out, out in the world. Now you did something, and I don't know if I have the timing right here, but I'm fascinated by this. Of course, you did Love is a Many Splendored Thing. You did a TV soap. Was it at the same time as the play? And where was it that you had your nighttime TV carve out? Like, when did you figure out that you were going to need to go to LA to do TV and have that put into your deal?
Well, the soap opera Love is a Many Splendored Thing came after Don't Drink the Water. And there was another one in between there, The Secret Storm, where
okay.
I played a character named Rocket.
It's an awesome name.
Who was a nightclub singer. And as a dancer, I was not the best singer in the world, but I sang on the show. But I think I did that for, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. And then I got a Love is Many Splendored Thing. It was a new soap being put on the air. So there was a lot of huzzah around it. There was a lot of horns and whistles, and, it was a big deal. And after doing it for about a year, I knew that I wanted to go out to California. I knew that I wanted to come to Hollywood. I'm
sorry to interrupt, but what about it? What made you know that? What was the thing that you said? What was it that? Because New York and California at that time were like two different worlds, and it felt like two different worlds. So what was it that you realized?
That was where the really important work was being done, the best work. I mean, the nighttime shows, the hour shows, whatever, were really good, and all that. And soaps were good, but it was a different world, it was a different kind of, I don't want to say different kind of acting, but in some ways it was. And I just wanted what I considered at the time the real thing. So what I did.
Well, that makes sense because I'm so sorry, but that makes sense because as an actor, soaps are great for like the brutal amount of dialogue and work that you have to do. You're like forged in steel to like understand how to work.
Yeah.
On conversely, film or television, you get to do retakes, you get to do angles, you get to take time with a scene, and then conversely more with film, then you're shooting 2 pages a day and it's like a country club walk.
Right.
So the idea of soap opera,
yeah, you get to actually rehearse a scene. On soap operas, you don't, for the most part. We did back then, Now they do 2 and 3 shows a day. I mean, I did General Hospital not too long ago, and that was brutal. It's just brutal, and I love
Yet
everyone
you still
there.
won an Emmy, so well done.
Thank you. But man, I drive home at night and go, what did I do? I have no idea.
Right.
You know how when you leave a set and you go, I nailed it today. I know I was good. I never went home that way because it all went so fast. No rehearsal. No, you're in front of the camera. You do it, and it goes by so fast you don't even know. So it doesn't have the satisfaction, I think, for an actor that nighttime shows do, and of course movies. Yeah. So
Just curious, because again, like you're saying, time-wise, when you're doing a soap, which is every day, an hour long every day, maybe more, are you even getting a chance to see any of your performances and adjusting anything, or are you just, it's like stage performing every day?
no, you could. When I was doing Love Is a Many Splendid Thing, we actually went in the afternoon before, like 3 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
Went into a rehearsal room with the director and the other actors and rehearsed. And he staged the scenes, and we rehearsed and everything the day before. So that when we went to the set the next day, it was all about camera angles and, where the cameras were going to be and all that kind of stuff. But you'd already rehearsed the meat of the scene. And that was really kind of okay. That was good. You felt as an actor, you at least were acting. You were doing something.
Yeah, you had. Well, also, people don't understand this. When you're acting, you can prep your scene as much as you want, know your lines, and then you get into a scene with another actor, and if you don't know how they're going to be coming at it, it can be off-putting and bizarre. So getting that rehearsal and seeing kind of where the other people are, you can adjust your levels, which is so helpful.
Yeah. And it makes it much more satisfying. It's what we do as actors. We massage a scene. We try and make this a little better and that a little better and a little. I mean, that's what rehearsal is for.
So you're doing these shows, and going back to my first question, which I keep interrupting, so you figure you want to do nighttime in Los Angeles. So how did you get this deal going?
I was clever. I went to Leslie Charlson. We had signed 1-year contracts because it was a new show. They didn't know what was going to happen with it. And she played my sister. And the show became about us. We were the main characters. And after a year, we were going to renegotiate our contracts. And I went to her and I said, you know what? I want nighttime shows and I want more money and blah, blah, blah. And I said, if I just ask for that, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. If both of us go in and ask for it, we'll get it, because they can't do without both of us. They could do without one of us, but they couldn't do without both of us. And so that's what we did. We went in and negotiated, and I negotiated nighttime guest shots that they would guarantee me, 3 a year or something like that, nighttime guest shots, and send me out there and, do the whole thing.
You say it like it's just sort of what happens. I want to point out to people that don't understand this. I mean, now that would be like a sweet, sweet deal that you thought of. Back then, kind of unheard of. And I'm still fascinated just by how, was it just the logic of it that had you figure this out, or where did that come from?
I just knew. I knew that that the show was revolving around the two of us.
Yeah.
And I just knew that, they couldn't do without both of us. So, because, sometimes you go in to renegotiate a contract and they say, okay, bye-bye. And they can do without you.
Yeah.
And rather than pay you more money or to give you whatever you want, they say bye. And I knew that wouldn't happen if both of us went in. And
well, it's also really smart because the other thing they do when negotiating is split everybody up and make it 2 separate camps so that you two would be competing, and then you're fighting each other instead of them, which, again, you've already just gotten rid of that part.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't let that happen. I just, we were great friends, and played sisters and stuff like that, and it just, I knew that we were a good duo, and it worked. It was just kind of plain business sense, which I have a little.
You
bit
say that, but it's I want to alert everybody that what you're making sound so simple is really visionary, and I can't make enough of it because I've never heard of anyone thinking of it like that. The closest I ever heard of was on Friends when Lisa Kudrow got everybody together and said we're negotiating together, and that was in the 90s. I mean, this is way before that. So you're doing the nighttime stuff. You do an episode of Dan August with Burt Reynolds, and
Right.
I understand this leads to Play Misty for Me. So how did that go down?
Well, as I was about, I went and did, the Dan August. It went very well. Bert was lovely to work with, just a great gentleman, and he was really fun. And we did a good show. I went back, and I then was going to leave the soap. I was going to go out to California, kind of just on my own, with no, I had a couple of guest shot films, but and literally like a week before I was going to leave, I got a call from my agent saying, "You got this movie with Clint Eastwood." I went, "What? How did I do that? I never auditioned. I never met him. How did that happen?" I said, "Well, he ran into Bert in a bar one night and said, 'Gee, I'm looking for a girl for this movie I'm doing. I can't find anybody I like.' And Bert said, 'Well, I just worked with this girl from New York. Maybe you'd like her.' Showed him the dailies, and he hired me right from
Wow.
that." Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
So you come out and you're working with Clint Eastwood. It's his first directorial thing. He's now famed. Obviously, he's a celebrated director. He's a great director.
Yeah.
But he learned under
That was his first. That was his first directorial effort.
right, his first thing. And I forget the name of the director he learned under, Dan Siegel, I think maybe, where he's very economical, very economical. He will do like one take and that's it. He's all about moving the process along and getting the immediate. What was your response to that? How did you work with that, and what did you think about him as a director?
I loved it. I loved it because he knew what he wanted. He knew exactly what he wanted in every scene and from every character. And the people that he hired, the actors that he hired, he knew they could do what he wanted, and he let them do it. I can't remember, maybe once or twice that he called for a second take. I mean, he knew that they could do it. And so he brought the movie in, I think, a week under time and under budget on his first movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Jessica Walters is in that. You have scenes with her. How is your working relationship with Jessica Walters?
Oh, God, I loved her so. She was so wonderful, took me under her wing. I lived in her guest house when I came back after the movie was over. I didn't have anything in California. I didn't know how to get to, the Beverly Hills Hotel. I mean, it was like, and she said, "Well, why don't you, I have a nice guest house. Why don't you live there until you, get your sea legs and find out where you want to live and stuff like that." And I said, "Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah." And I did. I lived, I don't even remember, I might have been 6 months or so that I lived in her guest house. And she was so wonderful to me, always. It was great. Yeah, she was a lovely
As a fan
person.
of the movie, picturing those two characters living in the same house makes me laugh.
Yes, I know. Well, she wasn't really like that character she played.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So you're out here in Hollywood, and at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, at the time Universal had these contracts. It was kind of like The Last Place, where you would be under contract they sign you and then they put you in different shows. Is that part of your story? Did that actually happen? Were you a part of the Universal system or no?
No one ever
okay.
asked me to go under contract. I just started.
So then you did all of these shows just on straight up auditions and grinding it out?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
just.
mean, $6 Million Man, Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Chips, Quincy, Hawaii Five-0, Policewoman, SWAT. If it was on TV, you did an episode of it.
Yeah. I don't know if you know that I did a series with Larry Hagman called The Good
No.
Life. That was actually the first thing that I did after Play Misty for Me. Yeah, it was a series.
Okay.
He and I played husband and wife. It was also David Wayne and Hermione Badley were in it. And it was about, they were a very rich couple, and we decided we didn't like all the difficulties of living in a regular life. We would become a butler and a maid and live in this great house, have a great swimming pool. And the comedy, of course, came from the fact that we had no idea how to be a butler and a maid.
Right.
So it was a very cute show. It really was. It only lasted one season, and I believe the reason it only lasted one season was because they put it on opposite All in the Family.
There you go.
Yeah. So
You know, I
I
had a chance to work with Hermione on Little House. She played a character on Little House, and I just adored her.
Yeah.
I thought she was just so sweet.
She was lovely.
You're doing a lot of different things here. It sounds like that's a comedy. Do you have a preference for drama or comedy, or do you enjoy both?
You know, it's weird. Because of that show, I got offered all kinds of comedies after that. And I didn't want to get known as a comedy actress. So I turned them all down. Who knows what great, show I turned down. I don't even remember, but so I love comedy. I really do. It was, basically the first things that I did. But then you get known as a villain or
Right.
those things stay with you, particularly if you're successful in it. So now I feel like nobody thinks of me as anything but the vixen. No.
Well, it seems to me like there's a lot going on in your head because you're seeing and navigating through all of these different aspects, which, with Netflix buying Warner Brothers and, everything becoming one big thing, it's hard for people to understand how, TV and film, you can't be a TV actor and a film actor. You can't be a drama actress and a comedy actress.
Yeah.
You're having to negotiate all of these different relationships that people have with you as far as what they decide you are when you're not just one thing.
Yeah.
How were you picking and choosing what you wanted? Like you said, you turned down the comedy because you don't want to be known as a comedy one because I guess you preferred the work in drama, or did you look at it as a business decision?
Because I didn't want that to be all that I did. I wanted to be able to do everything. And at that time, because comedy had been the last thing I did, I thought, I'll get stuck then. Nobody will think of me for anything else. So the next thing I do better be a drama.
We'll be back after these. The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait, order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's Plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
From Geico Subconscious News, I'm Tammy Racing Thoughts, broadcasting from your brain. You think you live in a pretty safe place, but you just heard about a break-in 4 miles away, which isn't close, but it isn't far either, you know? Art Palpitations is on the scene.
I sure am, Tammy, and I don't even know why I drove out here because, as you know, you got customized renter's insurance through Geico, so your stuff is covered.
Oh, well, that's great. Any sign of crime there, Art?
Just some light littering, Tammy, but like they say, a little litter can lead to a lot.
Wise words. It feels good to worry less. It feels good to Geico.
Messages. Have you ever thought about becoming an actor and making your friends and family jealous? Well, have I got a deal for you. Here at Working Actors School, we offer many different classes so you can become a famous actor like me. And we have a delightful selection of classes, including Adult Weekly. It's every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Here you will learn how to be an actor with other adults. How do we do it? How is it possible? Is it a miracle? Yes, it is. A miracle called Zoom. We teach everything online so you can become a famous actor and impress your friends and family. So if you want to be a famous actor and make your friends and family jealous, then you need to sign up at Working Actors School. You can get a hold of us at workingactorschool.com. You can sign up for classes at workingactorschool.com. You can make a reservation for the class online at workingactorschool.com. So come check us out. It's workingactorschool.com. Act 2. Success. How did Knots Landing happen? Where did that come from? Because you joined in the second season?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I had to fight for it. Because I knew one of the producers, and I saw a breakdown on it, and I saw the breakdown of Abby, of the character. And up until that time, if you saw a lot of the stuff that I did, it was mostly goody two-shoes stuff. And it was, and generally speaking, the goody two-shoes is the victim of something, of abuse, of whatever. Well,
by definition, the guest starring roles in the 70s and 80s were mainly like, she's got problems, $6 Million Man's going to solve it. She's got problems, Quincy's going to solve it. So you've got that issue.
Yeah. And it was always, but it was never the woman who was in control. She was always kind of out of control and had to be helped by whoever.
Right.
So when I saw that breakdown of the character of Abby on my agent's desk, I said, "You got to get me in there to read for them." And he called them up and they said, "Oh, we know Donna. We love Donna. She doesn't have to come and audition. It's okay." I said, "No, I do have to go and audition because they really don't know I can do that. They see me in a different way. I have to show them that I can do that." And he really kept at it and kind of browbeat them. And they said, "Okay, let her come in." And I went in and I read. And an hour later, they called me and said, "You got the job."
Now, when you were reading the breakdown, because your character comes in, and as far as I understand it, it was like kind of like a secret vixen, where they start off where she's like, "Oh, just a nice lady."
Yeah.
And then she starts to do things.
Yeah.
Was that it from the jump? Did you know that? Or was that developed?
No. It was planned that way from the very beginning, and it said so in the breakdown. She's the one who's going to stir the pot. She's the one who's going to, cause a lot of friction in the cul-de-sac. She's the one who's going to sleep around and, all that kind of stuff. So I knew that she was going to be that kind of character, and it didn't just happen. That was their plan. They needed that on that show. They needed somebody, needed a villain, basically. And she was it, to begin with.
Now, at this time, if television was the major media that there was in the 80s, nighttime soaps were like the major shows that were happening, and your show and you were the major thing. What was it like kind of carrying? And I know that it's an ensemble, I get that. But when you're, it was like you and Dynasty and Dallas, they had these bad guys. And the bad guys, people loved them in the 80s. That was the whole thing. And you were Knots Landings. What was it like to have that kind of responsibility for you?
I loved it. I loved it because she was so much fun to play. One of the reasons she was so much fun to play was because she was well written. She wasn't just a vixen. She wasn't just a bad guy. She had feelings. She had children. She loved her children. She had many facets. Now that made it really fun to play because, you know, you're not just playing Miss, you know, I know everything. You're playing, sometimes you're vulnerable. You know, I love the fact that she was vulnerable a lot, but nobody ever saw it. She'd be vulnerable in a room by herself, but not in front of other people. So, and it was really good writing. The whole show was very well written.
Now, as an actor on a TV show, I was on a show called Jag, and we went for 10 years. So it's like I've done a lot of episodes, nowhere near as many episodes as you have done. But when you're on a show like that, you do want to have these scripts come in and be really good because that's your meat. That's your bread and butter, what you're going to be doing. But there's an interaction between they see what the actor can do, and then they'll write towards that. And sometimes you might even have the ability to be a part of the process. Like if you come up with either an idea or not. How is the relationship between you and the writers on that level as far as creating that character?
It was really wonderful. There was a time, it went on for maybe a year or two, where we would go once a week to David Jacobs, who created the show, office. And they'd have lunch brought in for us. It was us, the actors, and the writers. And we would read the next script for them. And then we would talk about it. And we would say, you know, I don't think she would do that. You know, or that's great, let's go this much further, whatever. But we got to collaborate with the writers, which is highly unusual in series.
No kidding. Who came up with that? Was that David?
David Jacobs.
Yeah.
David Jacobs was an extraordinary man. I mean, he really was. It was very collaborative. We always were welcome in his office with ideas. He didn't always agree, but, you know, that's okay.
Right.
We could go, we could talk, we could, you know, work things out. He was wonderful that way. I mean, I think it's one of the reasons that Bill Devane stayed on the show as long as he did, because he loved to meddle in what was going on. And, you know, he was allowed to. I think it's one of the reasons the show was so good, too, because those characters were ours. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were us.
Yeah.
And we were molding them all the time. So we were very current with them. They were very strong in us.
Well, the thing about David, which is amazing, I mentioned to you, I did a couple episodes of Paradise, his other show, but he directed the first one I was in. And I've never seen a crew lay down their life for a guy like they did for David Jacobs. I mean, they love this guy. So, I mean, that says a lot when you always look to the crew to find out, you know, who the real good people are. And he tended to be one of them. Yeah. But he's doing Dallas and Knots Landing, and like these are big shows at this time, and people just don't understand. You guys were doing I heard you did 30 episodes in a season?
There were a couple of seasons we did 35.
That's insane.
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. We had 2 weeks vacation and then we'd go back. Yeah, it was a lot.
We did, like I said, we did 200 episodes, and I'm a dude, so I show up, they throw some pancake on me, and I'm done, and then I'm on set. That's not the way it works in 1980s Vixen television. What time, if there was a 7:30 crew call, what time would they have to bring you in to get you through the works?
Well, because I did my own makeup, I would do my makeup at home, but I would get up at 4:30. I would, have breakfast, whatever, do my makeup, go to the studio, so that I was at the studio by 7. And then,
Wow.
There's wardrobe and, all that kind of stuff, fittings and all that when you weren't shooting. So it was a lot. They were long days. And on Knots, it's funny because on Dallas, they were on the stages right next to us.
Yeah.
They were done at 5, always.
Yeah, they had the whole South Fork house there. They had everything right there.
Yeah, the interiors.
Yeah. We were on 15 is where we were at, stage 15. So like we were kind of like catty corner to that area.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name, which one we were on. All I know is it's the same set that they did The Wizard of Oz on.
Yep. Very cool. That's very cool. We had
whenever I went into the bathroom and she was in here.
It's one of my favorite things as far as being in Hollywood is the history of all of these places.
Me too. And having been on the stages where that movie was shot always got to me. Always just made me thrilled to be there. Yeah.
The continuity of these great stories. You guys told so many stories. What would you say the best thing about playing Abby was for Donna?
Oh God, that I got to wear pretty clothes. There was that. Also that I got to exercise different areas of my expertise. I got to exercise the, hard, kind of vicious, end of things. And then I got to exercise the vulnerable, with the kids. And, I recently did our podcast with Tanya Crow, who played my daughter, and Brian Austin Green, who played my son.
Yeah, I know Brian.
That was so nice because with them, I got to show another side of Abby, and that was always it was always energizing to me to be able to do both. So I loved it.
So if that's the best, what would you say the worst part about playing that character was?
Probably just that people thought I was that character a lot of times. I mean, like literally, I'd be out somewhere in, society and meeting somebody, and I would see a woman like take her husband's arm and move him from me.
Your powers are strong.
I'm not going to steal your husband, honest. But people, I did get that reaction from people. It was really interesting.
It's amazing. I did a movie in 1973 with Michelle Lee, and then I did a TV show called See Dad Run that my wife and I created, and we hired Michelle to play a character on it. And I think she's delightful. You worked with a lot of people on this show. I mean, a lot of people, because you go through not only just the regular cast, but like like all the different guest stars. What would you say? How should I ask this? What do you think builds a good working relationship with another actor on a long-term TV show?
I think respect. If you respect each other and
in their process, in the way that they work, or
yeah, and it's hard as a guest performer on a show to come in, everything's all set, the crew knows each other, everybody knows each other and stuff like that, and you come in as the kind of odd man out, and I think it's up to the cast that's there all the time to make that person feel welcome. I mean, I think we always tried to do that, all of us, because I think we had all done that on different shows. Yep. And knew how hard it can be. So we always, tried to make people feel welcomed, appreciated. You need a little more time for rehearsal. Come on, let's do that. You know what I mean?
That's like a dream, because I mean, you've done it, I've done it. You go on to a guest star role and no one will talk to you. And it's not because you're evil. It's just because they're they're in their life and you're just there for a day. But
Yeah.
that's your whole day where you're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
So for you guys to take that time, that says a lot.
Well, yeah, I just always knew how it felt to be on their side of it, you know? It's like when I produced things, I would always go in when we were casting and read with whoever was auditioning for whatever role, rather than having
wow.
to read with some casting director or something like that. It's just kind of a courtesy to another actor that they deserve to have as much as they can in a reading, as much good stuff. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess it has to do with belief in being nice to people. Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's Hollywood.
I know. Well,
But you know what's
what?
funny though is people don't understand this. Hollywood is a great place. I love Hollywood, and we make jokes, but like you and I keep talking about it, it's a small town. We know everybody.
And the fact of the matter is, I have never met nicer people in the world than people in this business. I don't know why. I don't know who the people are that are so terrible all the time. I think it's just they put it in the news and this and that because it's, you know, it gains.
Yeah, it gets attention. You know, like the bad behavior people.
And
there's always one guy, one girl at whatever job you're at that's a pain in the butt.
But for the most part, the people are really nice, as you've found.
My theory about that is actually because, you can work at a paper company because you need to pay the bills. But in Hollywood, it's not like you just end up taking a job in Hollywood just because. It's because you want to be creating. You want to be a part of the storytelling. You want to be an actor. You want to be a cinematographer. You want to be something. And so because of that, everyone is so happy to be there. And on a show like Knots, where it's like, oh my God, this thing's a juggernaut. It's never ending.
Yeah.
It must have been a really great family for you to have.
It was. It was a great time. I am eternally grateful that I had my heyday, shall we say, back then, because I think it's way harder now.
Yeah, it's a lot. The monoculture is gone, where everyone knows of Knots Landing. Everyone watched Knots Landing. Yeah. You had a number of 3 networks, and now there's like 50 million of them. But you do like over 200 episodes of Knots, and then you leave. Why are you leaving?
I actually left because I didn't feel that the writers at that time knew what to do with Abby. And I didn't want to see her kind of go downhill as a character. They didn't seem to be able to come up with storylines that were fresh, storylines that were new, that would, revolve around new ideas and everything. And I just didn't want to see Abby go down the tubes. I wanted her to leave at the top of her game.
We'll be back.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
From Geico Subconscious News, I'm Tammy Racing Thoughts, broadcasting from your brain. Tonight's top worry: if something happens to your apartment and you need to, stay in a hotel and pay for it. That would be crazy, right? Art Palpitations has more.
That would be crazy, Tammy, but you got surprisingly affordable renter's insurance through Geico, so it could be covered, giving you peace of mind.
Aw, I love a story that ends well.
Next up, love stories. Are they all they're cracked up to be?
It feels good to worry less. It feels good to Geico.
Back after these messages. Hey there, I'm Patrick Labyorteaux, and I've been an actor since I was a little kid, so I know what it's like to be a little kid actor. So I have a class here called Youth Weekly, and that meets every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and it is an awesome class if you are young and want to learn all about acting. We have a great set of kids, and it's taught on Zoom, so you can do it from anywhere. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your laptop, on an iPad. It's awesome. I've had kids take a class while they were in the car coming back from soccer practice. I swear to you. So if acting is in your blood, come to workingactorschool.com and check out the Youth Weekly class every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. I'll see you there. Act 3, present day. We go back to this brain of yours. That's another hard decision to make when it is so easy to go in, cha-ching, collect the check, do something that you know you can do, but you're challenging yourself. Yeah. And again, you're just walking off into the distance, not knowing what's next for you.
No, I did have, however, I had deals with two networks. I had deals with CBS and ABC to do movies for television that I would produce and star in. So that I knew I had that to do. I mean, I got an office at ABC Productions. I used to go to the office every day.
Well, I understand that, and that, of course, is great. You knew you had somewhere to go, but none of it's guaranteed to be successful.
Right.
You don't know what you're going to do as far as a producer. You find a piece of property, you put it all together, and then it goes on the air, and then, is it a hit or it isn't? We don't know yet.
Yep.
How did you like producing?
How did I like what?
How did you like producing?
Oh, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it because I had control. I could control most everything about things. Many times as an actor, you look at something after you're done and you go, why did they edit it that way? What were they thinking? Yeah. So I liked being able to be in on the editing, to be in on the, costume, selection, the set selection, the everything. So that, that kind of satisfied my, control, that I like to be able to control things like that. Because I'm the one whose face is out there,
Right.
And many times there's so many other things that other people have control over that your thing doesn't come out the way you'd like it to. When you get to produce, it pretty much can. And that's
interesting. You talk about control. I saw the Steve Kometko interview with you, and he asked you why you never married, and you said, because I don't want to give up the control. Okay, so it's an issue. But then you go and have a kid, which is the exact opposite. You can't control a kid. How does that reconcile with the control thing that you have?
Well, that's just something so basic inside, just that desire for a child that, I just had that. No, you can't control them, and that's a good thing. But you can be very influential in molding them. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a very it's a big responsibility, but it's a very wonderful feeling too. Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm adopted, and my biological parents were actors here in Hollywood, and then I get put up for adoption, and then I'm adopted by an actor. So it was a foregone conclusion that that's what I was going to end up being,
yes.
an actor. When your daughter is, around mom at this time, is it something that was exciting to her, or was it just like, oh, that's just mom?
Oh, it's mom. Do you know that she's never seen an episode of Knots Landing? She's never seen hardly anything that I've done, unless it was like a talk show or something that was on live. She's and you'd ask her why, and she said, "Well, because you're my mom. That's I'm not interested in that." It's
I guess
weird.
it is. I mean, it's weird for them. My son. I married a producer on the show, Jag, and so we were married in 10 years on the show. And again, both mom and dad are on the show. He has never seen the show. He doesn't care. So you go away, you raise your kid. Obviously, that's great. You come back, you do General Hospital, you win an Emmy, check. And then you're working on Nope, which is this fantastic. I love Nope. I love Jordan Peele, but I mean, Nope is really just a really interesting movie. I really like it.
Yeah.
How did that come about, and what was your relationship to that project as far as you seem to be pretty, like we've talked about control, we've talked about your brain and thinking of these things. Was this something you planned or something that was an opportunity that you jumped on?
No, just an opportunity that came along. I mean, my agent called me up one day and said, Jordan Peele wants you to self-tape.
Uh-huh.
You know, that whole thing that we do these days. And I said, okay. So they sent over a scene for me to do. And I went, well, this is not a scene from Nope. It's a scene from some other movie. I don't even remember what it was. But it wasn't a scene from the... They said, that's okay. He just wants to see you on film. Okay. And I did the scene, and they sent it in. And then he said he wanted to meet me over Zoom.
Uh-huh.
So we did. I met him and got on beautifully. I mean, he's a lovely guy. And so he hired me. You know, I only worked like 2 days on that show. It was just that one
Sure.
thing in the beginning there, but it was great fun. And
But if you know anything about Jordan, which you do, and you were in the movie, so you know this, the layers at which he's working, you're maybe there for 2 days. But the fact that Donna Mills is in this shot with the horse, with the kids, with the everything, it's a big deal to layer in what he's talking about through the rest of the movie.
yeah.
And I just thought it was a really inspired piece of casting. I thought you did a really good job.
Awesome.
And I keep coming back to this idea of, just because I started as a kid and you were practically a kid, that it's this desire to continue working, which I get. It's that chasing the dragon of that audience reaction and that wanting to create a character. You took time off for the kid, but I don't ever see you stopping, right? This is not something that you're going to end up not doing anymore.
No. Yeah, when she turned 18 and went off to college, I was like, uh-oh. I need something to do. I actually seriously consider, I love interior design, and I've designed my house and friends' houses and stuff like that. I actually seriously considered that. And then I thought, no, acting. I will miss acting if I don't do it, ever again. So I started to try and get back, and not an easy thing to do after you've been away for 18 years. I did a number of very small independent films, which I loved doing because the passion and the dedication that these people give to this film that they're doing, is just amazing and wonderful. But it wasn't getting me anywhere in terms of the business.
Right.
Hardly ever even seen. So,
also the weird thing, and again, I turn it back to me just to show you that I see you, which is I did show JAG for 10 years. And then when I got done with it, I would go into a casting office that I had been to for years. And they go, what have you been up to? Where you been? It's like, I was on a TV show for 10 years. And it's like, and then not to be on TV and then come back, you're still talented. You're still Donna Mills. You're still beautiful. But it's like, people don't know you. They weren't alive when Nuts Landing was around, and all these young kids out there, they're just like, it's a whole different world.
But the nice thing now is that, they finally put Knots on. First of all, they put it on Plex. Then they put it on Amazon. And so people are watching it again. People who watched it back then are watching it all over again, the entire 433 episodes.
Oof, that's amazing.
I know. They're watching it, and they're getting their kids to watch it. They're saying, this is a really good show. This is fun. This is a good show. And so we have like a whole new audience. It's really amazing. That's kind of what the podcast is about. Yeah,
let's talk about the podcast. So you're doing a podcast. We're not done yet, KNOT, which is awesome. How did that come about? And it's you and Joan and Michelle.
Yeah.
Tell me what the story is behind that.
Well, the producer, Scott Sternberg, came to me. He asked me out for lunch. I'd known him from various and sundry things. Anyway, he asked me out to lunch, and he said, what do you think about a podcast? And at the time, I'd never even looked at a podcast or heard a podcast. And I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, I got this idea, you and Michelle and Joan. And he'd done a thing a year or so, 2 years before that, where he tried to do a talk show with us and did like a sizzle reel, which didn't sell. But anyway, so I said, well, I don't know. It sounds good to me. I'll ask the girls. And so, because we've remained friends all these years and been through some stuff together.
Yeah.
So I went to them and they said, well, I guess so. And so we did the first 30 shows, audio only. And then they put us on YouTube, and now we're doing it visually and having guests. And it's really fun. I like it. It's a creative outlet for me.
Yeah.
Would I rather be doing a series? Yes. but this is fun, and it is a creative outlet, and I like doing it. I really do.
What I find with this show, and for the main part, like I said, this is a delight to have you on the show, but usually it's people that I know, and I'm never really in a situation, and you might be feeling the same thing with Joan and Michelle. I've never been in a situation where you interview people that you know or who your friends are in a way that's a formal interview where you kind of look at what they've done and talk to them.
Yeah.
Have you found that you've got to know these people better by doing this show?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to really spend a lot of time together, and we do it by Zoom, so it's not being in a room together. My idea was always to do it in a studio, so that we would be in a room together. I feel like there's an extra added something if you can be in a room together. But that's hard. You wouldn't be able to get a lot of guests because they're out of town, or they don't want to leave their house. Right. Whatever.
It's funny you should say that, because I've been doing this show, as obviously, and you're here on Zoom. It is that connection that the benefit of it is the scheduling, and you can allow people to be a part of something. The downside is there's that. It's the same thing when you're auditioning. These self-tapes, I just freaking hate. It's like, I get control. I can send in my best take, but it's like, I don't read the room. There's no room to read.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a different thing.
I agree. I agree. Yep.
Okay, before we get to the questions at the end here, I found this out. I'm like, I can't believe this. You have a winery in your backyard? Is that right?
I do. Yep.
That is like taking it to the next level for a lady with her glass of wine. How did this happen? This is amazing.
Well, my guy, who, we've been together for 24 years, so we actually are...
Dang, that's awesome.
We have a common law marriage now. But he decided about 10 years ago, it's a big property. It's like acre flat, but then there's another acre up the hill behind us. And he was going up there to cut vines out of the trees because the vines kill the trees if you let them go. And when he was up there, he went, "Oh, I wonder if we could plant some vines up here." And he didn't tell me about it first. He got engineers up there and some biological people who knew, about grapes and stuff like that. Is it possible? And they all said yes. They said, but you'll never do it. It's too steep. It's you got to make access. He did it all. And I fought him every inch of the way. I told him he was crazy. And finally, I gave in when I looked up there one day and it was finished. They'd taken, rebar and railroad ties and all this kind of stuff up there and built this stuff. So he did it. And that was more than 10 years ago. It was 2014.
Now, does your winery try to sneak around and steal other wineries' husbands in the cul-de-sac?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so to pimp out the name, what's the wine? Can we buy the wine?
Yes, you can buy it online. It's called Mandeville Vineyards. You can just go to mandevillevineyards.com. And first of all, you get the whole story of how he did it and, all that kind of stuff. And then you can buy it. And the fact of the matter is, it's good. Our
That's
first
fantastic.
vintage in 2016 won a silver medal at the San Francisco International Wine Competition.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Couldn't have been more surprised.
Well, all the links will be down in the description, so anyone just check it out. Just go click on that.
We'll be back after.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
These messages. Hey, I'm Patrick Labyorteaux, and I play an actor on TV, and I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I know what it's like if you are in a class with people, and sometimes you just want to have that one-on-one connection with the person that you're working with to go over, I don't know, a particular scene, or maybe you have an audition, or maybe you just want the privacy to try stuff that you don't really know is going to work and not have anyone look at you. Well, I have the perfect solution for you. It's called One-on-One with Patrick Labyorteaux. You can book your time at workingactorschool.com, and it's just me and you for an hour going over whatever it is you want to work on, breaking down the script, talking about character, figuring out your intention, the spine of the scene, everything that goes in to making a dynamite performance. So if you're interested in acting and want that one-on-one personal attention, check out One-on-One with Patrick Labyorteaux. You can find all the information you need at workingactorschool.com. Act 4, questions.
Okay, great.
All right, so here we are. We're at the questions. Just a couple of questions here left for you. Number one, these are called Tina's Gotta Know, because my wife came up with these questions and she's got to know this. The first one is, that's showbiz. What would you say is your most Hollywood moment?
Most Hollywood moment?
Yeah, like what's the defining thing where you go, that was pretty Hollywood?
Oh, good grief. I think I feel like red carpets are pretty much Hollywood, It's fun. But yeah, I think red carpets.
And then for number 2, that showbiz part 2, what would you say the most embarrassing Hollywood moment in your life is?
That's a surprise one. I haven't.
Well, I gotta say, I'm fascinated with you because you're very directional. You're very thoughtful. So, it's a good question as far as like what's your most embarrassing Hollywood moment. But it seems to me like you're a person that curates enough where you don't put yourself in the situation of closing the door on Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes, I haven't ever done anything like that. I'm sure that I've done something not appropriate at some point, but I'm going to have to think about that one more.
Not a problem. Number 3, show me the money. What is your biggest missed financial opportunity? Now, I'm not looking for numbers, but like in this town, we always have like some sort of weird opportunities. Did you ever have something you wish that you had just jumped into?
Yeah, well, I had a contract with Fabergé back then. And I don't really know if the company exists anymore. And I did commercial. It was Aquanet was one of the hairspray was one of their products and stuff like that. I wish that I had developed that more, or that I had agents who were smart enough to figure out how to develop that. I made some money with them, but I think that I could have gotten really rich there, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, I guess a person like yourself, especially coming out of the shows you were coming out of, you were in the movie Joy, right? So that's a perfect example of like that home shopping network type of thing where you could create the Donna Mills line of blank, and then you own the world. So I hear that.
And I did create a makeup video and a makeup kit and everything, but I was never hooked up with the best companies for these things.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So they kind of just went away. And that, I can't really blame anybody else for that. I should have been more on it. But.
Well, you're a very self-actualized person. It's very inspiring. Show and tell, as a teenager, what was the favorite poster you had in your room and how'd you get it? Who'd you look up to?
It was dancers. It was ballerinas. That was my, what I dreamed about at night was the curtain opening like this, walking out and someone handing me flowers, like they do in the ballet. So it was always dancers. It was never actors. And I was never a big concert person because I was in dance class most of the time, and the only music we listened to there was classical music. So I've never been a big concert or fan of rock and roll people. I mean, I like it, but
sure,
I never had that.
I may get this name wrong, but Nureyev was a really big deal in New York at that period of time.
Who?
Were you able, Rudolf Nureyev? Were you a fan of his? Did you know that area or?
Oh, a huge fan of his. Yeah. And I got to sit next to Baryshnikov at a lunch once. I thought I was going to choke. I mean, I literally couldn't talk. I was so excited because he is like an idol. Yes, Nureyev. Nureyev was just a little bit before my time,
okay.
But Baryshnikov was definitely,
Yeah, he was the Mac Daddy, and like on top of being so talented, it's like kind of a good-looking guy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, showdown. What would you say the best thing you've ever done and the worst thing you've ever done as an actor?
As an actor, I was going to say the best thing I ever did was raise my daughter.
Absolutely, but that's kind of like, of course. I mean, and that's amazing. But like for acting, what would you say you're most proud of and you're least proud of?
I think the most proud of is Knots. You know, Knotslander.
Yeah.
That character. Because, well, first of all, I had 9 years to develop the character.
Right.
You know, actors don't generally get that, you know, so to have all that time to hone the character and mold the character and have it be just exactly the way you want the character to be, that was wonderful. So I would say that character, Abby.
Okay.
And the worst, there was too many. I really don't know probably one of the characters I played in one of these independent movies that I did.
Okay.
Because,
Fair.
you know, I never had the opportunity to kind of hone things and all that. And so those aren't my best performances.
Fair. Okay. No show. What part did you want but didn't get?
I don't know. It would have been in television because I don't think I thought of myself as a movie actress. One of the reasons, you know, people say, well, after Play Misty for Me, how come you didn't become a big movie star? Play Misty for Me at the time was not a big hit.
Right. It's now become a classic because they understand it. But people wanted him to be a tough guy, and he wasn't.
Right. They wanted a gun in his hand, and you know, and so that was not a terribly popular movie. Therefore, the people in it didn't benefit as much because that's what happens when it's a blockbuster movie. Then everybody wants those actors, you know.
Right.
So that's too bad because it is a good movie, and I think it holds up even today.
Were you ever upset that Jane Fonda stole your hairstyle for Clute?
It's so funny. I'm friends with Jane now. Boy, she's a hoot. She's great. No, although I did have a cab driver once who would not believe I was not Jane Fonda. He kept insisting. I ended up, okay, give me the paper, I'll sign it. He wanted my autograph. I signed her name.
All right, number 4, favorite show. What movie influenced you the most, or TV show? I mean, what was it that influenced you, like as an actor, when you saw it?
Wow, that's really What influenced me most? Boy, I don't even.
You're pretty self-actualized. I don't know if this is. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You seem to have a plan and just execute on your own desires as opposed to chasing after what someone else wants.
Yeah. You know, I've had movies that I've liked a lot and stuff like that, but I don't feel that they were that instrumental in what I do, you know.
Well, the next question is show me again. What is your comfort movie? What movies do you like to return to?
What movies do I like what?
To return to. Which ones do you watch movies over and over? Do you have a favorite, you know, type of movie or a movie that you love?
Love Actually.
Yeah.
That's
a great movie.
I say that because we just watched it again this Christmas. We always watch it.
Absolutely.
I always cry. Always. It just gets to me. But there's another movie that I love called The English Patient.
Oh, that's great. We had a farm in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. And that's a great movie. We always refer, my friends and I, when we're acting, It's like if we didn't get a role, or if we get a role that's not great, we go, yeah, it's First Lobster from Love Actually. The First Lobster.
That's right. Yeah. But
now, I asked this question of all the people that I've worked with, so if this doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Show me some love. What's your favorite performance of mine?
Oh, my God.
If you don't know me, just say Little House.
I don't know.
That's fine. Little House it is.
Little House.
Oh, thank you so much. That's wonderful. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. All right, guys. So thank you so much.
Let me just say that I enjoy you now. Okay.
Oh, that's a sweet question. These are the set questions. So it's like, sometimes sometimes you're not. I want you to check out We're Not Done Yet. It's the podcast that you're doing with Joan and Michelle. Also, Mandeville Wines, and it's in the link below. Anything else you want to tell people about? Anything coming up?
There's actually nothing, I'm waiting to get another series. I mean, people, must think, what does she want another series for at her age? Why would she want to do that?
Why not? That's what I'm thinking. It's like, of course you want to know. Who doesn't want a series?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I get it.
I like to work, so I know you understand that.
It is one of the things that, I had Morgan Fairchild on the show, and it's the same type of feeling. It's like you just don't want to. Why stop? I'm waiting on the Santa Claus rules myself. I'm waiting to get. I know they're out there.
Good thing.
Well, Donna, thank you so much for coming on the Patrick Labyorteaux Show with Patrick Labyorteaux. I really appreciate it. You are really inspiring. You're super smart, and I really enjoy your work, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you. I enjoy your work, too, even though I can't remember it.
Love it.
It's the Patrick Labyorteaux Show. Patrick Labyorteaux. He's the one you gotta know.
Hey, everybody. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the podcast and checking it out. It is an audio podcast wherever you get your audio podcast, and it's a video podcast over on YouTube. My socials are all patrick.labyorteaux, and that is on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. I'm everywhere. If you want information on the school, you can go to workingactorsschool.com. We have classes going all the time. It's a lot of fun. I suggest you check it out. Hey, we'll see you next time.
It's the Patrick Labyorteaux Show. Patrick Labyorteaux. He's the one you gotta know.